She pretended to be a waitress to find a husband. The man who loved her back was her arranged fiancé. She walked into the small restaurant wearing a cheap uniform, carrying a tray with shaking hands. Nobody there knew that she was the daughter of one of the richest families in the city. She had come to the restaurant for one reason, to find a man who would love her for who she really was. But she never expected the quiet customer sitting alone in the corner to become the person who changed her life. And what she didn't know was even more shocking. The man she was about to fall in love with was the very man her family had already chosen as her future husband. Before we begin, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment telling us what you would do if you discovered the person you loved had been hiding their true identity from you. Emma had spent her entire life surrounded by luxury. Her father owned hotels, shopping centers, and several large companies. She had never worried about money, but she had always worried about something else. She wondered if people truly liked her or simply liked her family's wealth. Every time a man approached her, her father would quietly investigate him. Was he from a good family? Did he have a successful career? Was he interested in Emma or her inheritance? Emma was tired of it. One evening, she told her father, "I don't want someone who loves my money. I want someone who can love me when I have nothing." Her father sighed. "There is already someone suitable for you," he said. Emma froze. His name was Daniel Carter, the son of an old family friend. He was successful, polite, and hard-working. But Emma had never met him properly. "I don't want an arranged marriage," she said. Her father looked at her sadly. "Then meet people yourself. But remember, wealth makes it difficult to know who is honest." That night, Emma made a decision. She would leave her comfortable life for a while. The next morning, she found a job as a waitress at a small family restaurant across town. She rented a tiny apartment and told everyone her name was Emma Miller. For the first time in her life, nobody treated her like a rich man's daughter. Her first day was difficult. She dropped a spoon. She forgot an order. One customer complained about the coffee. But the restaurant owner, Mrs. Brown, simply smiled. "Everyone makes mistakes," she said. "Just keep trying." Those words touched Emma deeply. A week later, Daniel walked into the restaurant. Emma didn't recognize him. He wore simple clothes and carried an old leather bag. He looked nothing like the wealthy businessman her father had described. Daniel sat at his usual table and ordered coffee. Emma served him. "Rough day?" she asked. Daniel smiled. "Very. You should eat something." "I don't have much time." Emma placed a sandwich beside his coffee. "You look like someone who forgets to take care of himself." Daniel laughed. "Is that part of the service?" "No," Emma replied. "That's just me." From that day on, Daniel began visiting regularly. They talked about simple things. They talked about childhood dreams, favorite foods, difficult days, and the strange things people did when they thought nobody was watching. Emma slowly realized something. Daniel never asked about her family. He never asked where she lived. He never cared about expensive clothes or fancy restaurants. One rainy evening, Emma saw Daniel outside the restaurant giving his umbrella to an elderly man who was struggling to cross the street. Daniel walked through the rain without protection. Emma watched from the window. She smiled. "That," she whispered, "is the kind of person I was looking for." Days became weeks. Daniel and Emma became close friends. Then one evening, Emma found Daniel sitting alone after closing time. "You look sad," she said. Daniel stared at his coffee. "My family wants me to marry someone I barely know." Emma's heart skipped. "My family is doing the same thing," she admitted. They both laughed. "Maybe we should refuse," Daniel said. "Maybe," Emma replied. Neither knew the truth. Neither knew they were talking about each other. Then came the day everything changed. Daniel had a serious business meeting nearby and stopped at the restaurant afterward. Emma was carrying a tray when several loud sounds suddenly came from outside. People screamed. The restaurant became silent. Daniel immediately moved toward Emma. "Get down," he shouted. Everyone crouched behind tables as chaos spread outside. Daniel didn't think about himself. He moved toward an elderly customer who was frightened and helped him behind the counter. Emma watched Daniel protect people around him. Then Daniel noticed Emma standing frozen near the entrance. He quickly pulled her to safety. "Are you okay?" Emma nodded, tears filling her eyes. "I was scared." "So was I," Daniel admitted. "But you're safe now." Those simple words broke through the walls around Emma's heart. When the danger finally passed, everyone slowly came out. Mrs. Brown hugged Emma. Daniel checked on every customer before checking himself. That night, Emma realized she no longer cared about his wealth. She cared about his heart. The next morning, Emma's father called. "Come home," he said. "There is something you need to know." Emma returned to her family's house. When she entered the living room, her father was standing beside a man. Emma stopped. "Daniel." Daniel looked just as shocked. Her father smiled. "Emma, meet Daniel Carter. The man I told you about." Silence filled the room. Emma stared at him. "You?" Daniel looked at her. "You?" They both began laughing. Then Emma's eyes filled with tears. "I pretended to be a waitress because I wanted to know if someone could love me without knowing I was rich." Daniel smiled. "And I pretended to be ordinary because I wanted to know whether you would choose me without knowing who I was." Emma shook her head. "So we were both testing each other." Daniel nodded. "But you didn't need a test," he said softly. "I already knew who you were inside." Emma smiled. For the first time, she understood something important. Love was never about money, family names, expensive clothes, or impressive houses. It was about the person who stayed when life became difficult. It was about the person who offered an umbrella to a stranger. It was about the person who protected others even when afraid. And sometimes, the greatest kindness is simply seeing someone for who they truly are. Emma and Daniel eventually married, but they never forgot where their story began. They continued visiting the little restaurant. They helped Mrs. Brown expand the business and quietly supported workers who needed help. Emma never stopped being grateful for the simple life she had experienced there. And Daniel never forgot the waitress who once placed a sandwich beside his coffee and told him to take care of himself. Because kindness had brought them together long before they knew their families had planned their future. Sometimes, we spend too much time searching for perfect people. But love and kindness are often found in ordinary moments: a meal shared, an umbrella offered, a hand held during a difficult time, or a simple, "Are you okay?" You never know how much one small act of kindness can change someone's life. So today, be kind. You may think your action is small. To someone else, it might mean everything.